Hello guys, I am here already, as you can see, at Oconaluftee Indian Village. I already packed my tent, I already got everything packed in my car, so I'm gonna go check out this village. Hopefully it's gonna take me maybe 2 hours. We'll see how long this thing even is gonna be, because I don't even know. So yeah, that's my plan. Gonna check out the village. After that, I'm gonna go straight home. Actually, I am planning to also get some lunch before I go. That way, you know, I'm gonna be all set to go. And then this will be the end of my 2020 vacation. So I guess let's go check this place out.
All right, this is our finger weaving station. And today, using modern materials, we're able to create 3 different types of weave. We have a single weave, which is a simple over and under that creates checks and plaid patterns. We have a double weave that creates a wider variety of patterns. And our third and oldest traditional weave is called the oblique weave, and that incorporates the use of beadwork in the design. And to get our different colors, we use different types of woods in the firing process. The lighter colors come from using a hardwood because it creates more heat and less smoke. The darker colors come from using a softwood because it creates more smoke and less heat. And you notice that we don't use any potter's wheels, we don't use any glazes. And if we want to waterproof our pot, here you go, we'll take our corn cobs, put them inside of our pot, and place the pot beside the fire with the opening facing the fire, and the natural oils from the corn cobs waterproof the inside. Alright, and this is our wood carving station. Now, before metal tools, we used a flint knife and tree bark to make our masks with. And then afterwards, we were able to use the inside of the tree and make our masks a little more intricate. We also use gourds to make our masks with, which is another plant that we grow that's inedible, but we do find use in it. And because we don't believe in wasting anything, the back of that mask we would use as a bowl. Alright, and this is our weapons station. We do create a couple of different types of weapons here, and the first one is probably the one that you're most familiar with, and that's the arrowhead. We'll take a piece of flint and another river stone, and we're going to knock these together until we break a piece off of this that we can use. Then, once you got what's called a blank, we'll take our smaller river stone like this one, and we're going to chip away at the sides of this to give it that arrowhead shape. That's called flint knapping. Then once we've got our shape, we'll take our deer antler here, and we're going to press against the sides of this to get those tiny little flakes off that give this arrowhead its sharpness. And that's called pressure flaking. Kevin, will you show us the blowgun, please? Now, a blowgun is between 4 and 10 feet long. The longer it is, the more accurate it is. And we use this for hunting small game like rabbits, squirrels. The largest thing you want to hit with this is a wild turkey, and it has to be a headshot, because if you hit it anywhere else on the body, it's just simply going to bounce off the feathers. We don't poison our darts because you don't want to poison your food. And we also don't use these in combat, because if you hit somebody with one of these, all you're really going to do is make them mad.
Oh, cool.
Alright, now these are our traps, and I do want to start off by letting you guys know that these are on a 3rd scale, so they would be somewhat larger. This first one here, this is our bear trap. It's also called a deadfall trap. Now we'll take and place food on this stick right here in the front. Whenever the bear comes to get it, he'll tug on that stick, and this larger log here will fall on him, either breaking his back or pinning him until we can come and get him. And this one here is our most recent cabin. So this is late 1700s, early 1800s, after the French and Indian War. And during the war, we did lose a lot of our homes. So this is kind of a hurry up and shelter your family kind of home. That's why it's not very fancy. Now this home would be a village effort. Everybody would come together to help build this home. So it could go up in as little as 3 weeks. This was our peacetime home when we had a little bit more time to devote to making our homes and adding some extra touches. So the logs are squared off, they're dovetailed in the corners. There's a porch on the front and the back, and the loft on the inside reaches all the way across for extra sleeping quarters. And because the only time we were ever actually inside of our homes was just to sleep, this one here can actually fit up to 10 people. Now this one here behind you, this is our sweat house. It's kind of like a hospital. Every family had one, and then the medicine man would have a much larger one in the center of the village. We found that the body's natural reaction to illness was to raise the body temperature and to sweat. So we found out that we could speed that process along a little bit. So whenever someone falls ill, we'll take them in there and lay them on one of the benches. The large river stones in the center of the room, we'll take those and place those in a fire that we have built outside. We don't build a fire inside because there's no ventilation. Then once they're heated through, we'll roll them back in and pour teas over them that we make from plants and herbs. And this helps the person to sweat out their sickness. So this is our trading post. We did trade with other tribes all across the United States and Canada and South America, but then whenever the Europeans started arriving, we saw that they were bringing in items that we simply couldn't get here. And one of those things was cloth. Now, not only did the Cherokee enjoy the different colors and patterns that cloth came in, but it was just so much easier to take care of than leather was. So it was a lot easier to keep clean, it didn't ruin if you got wet, and it was much cooler in the summertime, so we quickly switched over to cloth clothing. Now the form of currency here is actually the buckskin, and if that sounds familiar to you, whenever you go to the store today, you spend $5. That's where that came from, was here. So your prices are going to be set in buckskin. Now your cloth will range anywhere from between 2 to 7 buckskin, depending upon the design and the quality of the cloth itself. But once you've got your cloth clothing, you're going to come over here and you're going to get your metal tools and cookware. Now this wasn't changing the way that we lived life by any means. This was just simply making things a little more convenient and a little less time consuming. So this bottom pot here, that would actually cost you about 3 buckskin. Then once you've got your metal tools and cookware, you're going to come over here to the decoration table. So because we were all about looking pretty, we love some decoration. So get you a little bit of silk ribbon, some bits of silver, or maybe even beads. And like our beadwork, the first beads we got weren't even actually beads. The first one was actually a long glass tube, kind of like a straw, and it was white, and then you would just chip off the size that you wanted to use. Then later on we started trading with the Europeans for what's called a check bead, and that's these little guys. And so they were coming from Czechoslovakia. Then later on, closer to the 1800s, we started trading for what's called a Venetian bead. Now these comes from Venice, and this is what's really going to cost you. This little guy right here is actually going to cost you about 5 buckskin. Now to put this in perspective for you, today you could go to McDonald's and spend about $6 for a Happy Meal. Now can you just imagine going out in the woods and hunting down every single one of those bucks, dragging it home, skinning it, and then bringing it back to the trading post just for this one bead? So that puts it a little more into perspective for you. Now the main thing that we were trading for was actually guns, but not for combat. This was for hunting, because we have a very communal mentality. So whenever I go hunting, I'm not just hunting for myself, I'm not just hunting for my family, I'm hunting for the village as a whole. So you can see how this would make things a lot easier. Now this trading wasn't really that important to the Cherokee. It was just simply a little bit something extra that other tribes didn't necessarily have. But this trade was actually driving the economy in Europe, and the reason for that is because this was the first time in history you could go down to the corner store and buy a book. So because everybody could have one, everybody wanted one, so they needed this leather for leather book bindings. So this was what was actually driving the economy there, so it was much more important to them. Questions?
Alrighty guys, so just came back from the village, Indian Village. Just stopped here at Haywood Smokehouse. Never been here before, but they have some good, ribs, things like that. That's what I want to eat, while I go home. So that's what I ordered. So I'm gonna go in my car, eat it, and then head back home. So yeah, it's a great vacation, great time. I felt really relaxed and it was really cool just, trying out new stuff. So it was pretty cool. So, and thank you for watching this video, guys, and I guess we'll see you guys maybe next time. We'll see.